being at 10% body fat, being at 9 to 10% body fat changes your life. It changes your life in ways you never truly realized your life could even be changed by. Before I got to 9 to 10% body fat, I was very insecure with how I looked. Not insecure in a way of like, I hated myself or anything like that, but insecure of, like, I wanted people to know I worked out. I specifically chose clothes that make me look a certain way because I wanted to look a certain way so bad. Like when I was younger, I would watch anime, like Dragon Ball Z would come on, what was it, like Cartoon Network or something, or Nickelodeon would come on Nickelodeon, and I was like, yo, Goku's physique is insane. I would look up to my dad. My dad worked out a lot, and I would look up to him and I'd be like, I want to be big and strong just like my father is. And then I would watch movies. We would watch movies together all the time, and I would see like, like we watched like a lot of action movies and stuff, and I would see like the men's physique in there. I'd be like, damn, like I looked up to those people and I wanted to be like those people. I have been chasing that ever since I was like a young kid, and I know a lot of men are also chasing the same thing. From a young kid, we always looked up to a person that has, the respect that we see, the notoriety. We see they're like attractive to females and things like that, and we look up to those people as young kids, and then we grow up and we want to become those things ourselves because we have seen it. And fortunately, I've seen it through my father and through, movie stars and anime characters. And I've become it in the end. I've become the 9 to 10% body fat percentage. It's more than just the body fat percentage. Like, let's be honest, like it's more than just, being able to see your abs, being able to have the muscle mass and the decent size and things like that. It's the habits, the traits, the values, the standards, the morals that you learn and practice and have to navigate through your day-to-day life that makes you want to continue, or that continuous growth that you have of trying to figure out what you like, who you are, staying true to yourself, staying authentic, staying genuine, and not letting this filthy world that we live in taint you and take control of you. So where you have the control, you have the power. It's what you say against what the world wants you to do. And, going against the grain constantly, just not being the average guy or female, for females watching this video, not being the average person, going against that, rising above it and being the person that is above all of those things. I know that was just like a little tangent, but, like I said, getting to 9 to 10% body fat is more than just the physical embodiment of the work that you have done. It's the practices that you learn. Now, more so in depth with, the practices that you do, when you get to this body fat percentage, not even when you get here, when you're sustaining it, because it's not something you just get to and then it's like, okay, you can stop working. No, you gotta sustain it. And in a lot of ways, some could argue that staying lean is harder than getting lean, right? And I say that because on the journey to getting lean, you don't know very much. It's just you have a lot of faith. You have a lot of faith. You have a lot of optimism. You have a lot of, okay, that's what I did. Like what I had to do, I had to just trust the fucking process, bro. I had to be like, you know what, bro? I've said year and year again, January 1st came up. January 1st, years and years and years. Summers come up and go. Winters come up and go. And I'm like, bro, I want to get to this physique. I want to get to this body fat percentage. I want to look a certain way. I have an image in my head. First of all, you have to be obsessed with that image, bro. You're going to learn that you got to be obsessed with what you want. Like you have to say, I'm going to get to 9 to 10% body fat. And that is a fucking fact, bro. Like no matter what the world throws at me, no matter what situation I'm in, I'm going to figure out how the hell I'm going to get to 9 to 10% body fat. I want to figure out how I'm going to get this job, how I'm going to be this person, how I'm going to get to this level in my life in the next 10 years. And you can practice all of those things with getting to 9 to 10% body fat in the span of 14 weeks, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 2 years. You can learn those traits and habits that are going to scale you to those other ventures in life. But in the process of getting to this body fat percentage that is very sought after out of many men, don't know many men out there who would not choose to be at 9 to 10% body fat if they had the option, or any women that would want a guy at that percentage, you know what I'm saying, or above. If you don't, come on, bro. You're out of the norm. You're a little weird. But let's be honest. Every guy wants it. Every girl wants their man to have it. And that's just a fact. Or every girl finds it attractive that a guy has those traits and they can instill it into their physical body in any way or shape that is. So in the journey to get into this body fat percentage, you have to be optimistic. Like I said, you have to have faith and you have to just trust the fucking journey. You got to be like, you know what, bro? This is the last January 1st I'm going to be doing this. And if you're really serious about it, you won't even wait until January 1st. You'll start. For the people who haven't started, you will start today. And for the people who are lean, you got to, I mean, you already know when you were trying to get to 9 to 10%, when you were trying to, better yourself and lock in on your journey and you're trying to see progress, you know that you had to consume the content every day, bro. It didn't matter if you was eating lunch, dinner, breakfast, fourth meal, sixth meal, eighth meal, you're about to go to sleep. You had to do something in the day to keep you on the path of where you want to be. You had to watch a video like this, or you had to stay watching somebody that's going to continue to challenge your mindset, to reassure you that what you're doing is in fact what you need to be doing. When you get lean, it's like you have like a fear of losing the progress. A guy recently messaged me, shout out to him. If he's watching this video, shout out to you. He messaged me and he was like, he made substantial progress. He made a lot of progress and he doesn't want to have, he called it a cheat meal, but I was telling him, reframe it as a refeed day. Because when you look at these things as cheat meals, it's something that goes against what you're working for. And when you have a refeed day, when you frame it as having a refeed day or meal, I usually do like a time period. Like I'll eat good. I'll eat what I eat 99% of the time for up until like 5 o'clock. And then 5 o'clock hit, okay, dinner, I'm having sushi. Dinner, I'm having cereal, I'm having ice cream. And when I get ice cream, I'm literally making healthy choices while I'm having my refeed day, while I can eat whatever I want. And I'll have like, I don't know, Halo Top, protein pints, Yasso ice cream. I love ice cream, so I'll eat like ice cream or something. But he was saying that he was basically saying that he didn't want to lose the progress that he gained. And I get that 100%, because as a human being, everything we do, we want to go further in life. We want to excel. We want to climb higher. And in no way would we ever choose to decline and stay at that state. If we ever decline in a status, or we ever decline, or we ever go down in terms of progress, it's always going down a level so that we can rise above that level even better. You know what I'm saying? It's never to stay down and be down forever. So I was telling him, okay, first we got to reframe the cheat meal as a refeed day, because the refeed day, a refeed meal, is going to help your body. It is just as important as eating the lean foods, eating the chicken, the rice, the broccoli, the ground turkey, weighing out your food. It's just as the refeed meal is just as important as eating the foods that you eat 99% of the week. It's just as important. So don't feel like you're going to spiral back into your old ways when you have your refeed meal. And if it's, if it takes for you to be in control, for you to calculate your refeed meal, for you to calculate it, because I personally don't. I don't calculate it. I have a general idea of what it is in my head, but I'm not hell-bent on tracking my macros, my protein, and my calories for that day because I ate this meal, right? But if in order for you to feel like you have control over your body, because that's what we're practicing this whole time, we're practicing staying in control, staying disciplined, staying consistent, and staying locked in. If it takes for you to track those calories for your refeed or for the meal that you have been thinking about for a long time, especially when you put in the work, when you've been working for 4 weeks, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, being scared of having a refeed meal or having the meal that you haven't had in a while, like it may be the burger, it may be the fries, it may be a dessert, it may be going to Chili's and ordering a big plate or whatever. When you have been putting in the work day in and day out, 24 hours for a month, 2 months, 3 months, the work that you have done should not backtrack you having a refeed meal. You know what I'm saying? Like you shouldn't have to think to yourself. I mean, that's great that you have that first initial thought. That means that you don't want to backtrack the work that you've done, it's awesome. That's great. But the work that you have done is literally a representation of you having the control, You having the discipline, you staying consistent. Your physical body is the new manifestation of what you have been practicing time and time again, 24 hours in a day. There's no days off to getting to 9 to 10% body fat. When you want to have your refeed meal and you say to yourself, I don't want to backtrack the progress, that's great. But you have done the work already. You can eat the meal. And the next day, guess what? You go right back to eating the food that you have. And if you want that food again next week, you do the same thing. Eat 99% of the time great, and then have the refeed meal. Have the food that you want. You gotta want the food that you're eating 99% of the time as well. You gotta want it just as bad as the food that you're eating for 1% of the time. You know what I'm saying? Once that level of the food that you're not eating consistently most of the time, the cheat meal food or the refeed food, once that becomes your priority, then that's where things start to mess up. You know what I'm saying? But you treat it as just another experience. You treat it as it's a refeed meal. It's helping me with my progress. You know what I'm saying? So again, those traits that you learn from getting to 9 to 10% body fat allow you to move more freely. And that leads into like my next point. When you get to 9 to 10% body fat, when you are disciplined, everyone else on the outside is going to view you as the strict person, the person that doesn't go off their regimen, that doesn't go off of their diet. Don't like calling it that. I call it a nutrition plan, because a diet is something you go on and you go off of. We're not going off of this nutrition plan. This is something we're going to be practicing for the rest of our lives, instilling it in our family members and friends and things like that. When you become this person, people are going to view you from the outside as strict. You have no sort of give for what you're doing. Anybody who's lean will tell you do, actually. When you're tracking your calories, you're tracking your protein, you gain freedom for who you are and what you're doing, because you gain control. You're not succumbing to society. You're not succumbing to what your friends want you to do. You're not succumbing to what your work environment wants you to do. You're not succumbing to what life throws at you. You're taking what life throws at you and you're saying, no. I'm in control of what I'm eating. I'm going to track my calories. I'm in a new environment. I now have to figure out and navigate, how do I want to control this new environment? You get a new job, you got new work hours. You say to yourself, okay, I got new work hours, I got a new job. How am I supposed to control this as much as I can? Because it's your body. You control your elbow. You control what you put into your mouth. Pause. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are not things that someone's forcing you to do. And if it is, you need to call 911 and call help immediately, bro. Because, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? But, bro, like, you gain freedom in that aspect of, I'm in control. You're in control of what you eat. There is no more like, oh, I had a bad day at work today. I'm about to emotionally eat. Because I was a victim to that. Not a bad day at work, but just I used to eat out of emotion. I used to eat out of discomfort. In order for me to feel comfortable, I would eat. And that was what was hindering me. Again, that was what was hindering me from getting the body that I wanted. But once I gained control, once I took back what I knew was valuable and what I wanted, I instantly felt free. Instantly, bro. And then you look back and you're like, damn, bro, like I was living this lifestyle that I didn't want to live for so long. And now that I took control of who I am, I'm just more free in that way. You know what I'm saying? So the third thing is going to be the respect that you gain from people. This is going to be the one that you see the most of. A lot of this stuff is very internal, but some of these things are external. You get external value from it. And the next two topics are going to be about the external value that you gain from getting 9 to 10% body fat. I will say, to the people that live in warm climates, bro, you got it good and you don't even understand, because you're allowed to walk outside with a vest on. You're allowed to walk outside with a sleeveless shirt on, or you're allowed to walk outside with, short sleeves and shorts and stuff like that. I can't do that, bro. So, you know what I'm saying? I don't get to get all these external values from being 9 to 10% body fat as you guys would. But if I did, oh my goodness, bless up to you, fam. Bless up, because I will be outside every day enjoying life. Like the summertime, that was when I first got lean. It was like a high the whole summer. Winter is a different aspect. You gotta bundle up, you gotta wear long sleeves and things of that nature. But bro, summertime is like, oh my goodness, that's like, I promise you feel a certain way you've never felt before, and it's so hard to explain, bro. Like, I just don't know how to explain that feeling of, when you're lean, when you have the body that you want, and you're instilling these habits, and you can actually practice it in all the ways. You can practice it all the ways that the world can allow you to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, the respect that you gain from people, and how people treat you, how people see you, changes. You know what I'm saying? You get leaner, you start making progress, and really it changes anytime you start instilling the habits to get to 9 to 10% body fat. 9 to 10% body fat is just the objective, or is the physical, representation. It's like a really, really, really extremely good physical representation of the work that you've put in. That's why I keep preferencing 9 to 10% body fat. It's a very attractive physique, and it's a very respectable physique from a judgment of eyes perspective. But once you start making the habits to get to that physique, the respect and how people see you will start to change. You start to see people start throwing their insecurities on you, like, oh man, you don't gotta eat like that. Take life a little less serious. My G, how is wanting to be in control of your life not happy for you? Like, how could you not be happy wanting to take more control of your life? Because when people start to talk about finances and things like that and how to grow your money and stuff, everybody drops what they're doing. They listen to the financial advisor. They listen to the guy that's a millionaire. They listen to the guy that's rich. But when it comes to people's health and the guy that's lean telling people, yo, being lean will change your life. The practices, habits, and values that you learn, morality that you learn from it, your standards that you learn from it will change your life. No one wants to listen to that, which is like, bro, what are we doing? Like, why would you not want to be healthy? Because before society created money and things like that and currency, it was your health. That was your currency. That was your status symbol in your world. You know what I'm saying? How you have access to certain things, access to doctors, things like that, medicine. But the confidence that you gain from finally getting to the physique that you have dreamt of since a kid is something that you can't buy. You can't buy that. When people see that, when people see what you have become, when people see, oh, that's the physique I wanted as a kid, and so got it. I see this stranger walking. They have the physique that I wanted as a kid. So and so got it. They will respect the hell out of you. And like I said, some people, they will throw their insecurities at you because they don't believe in themselves enough to get to that point. They don't believe in themselves that, oh, I can do the same things. Everything that he has achieved, I can do it I have just as much power and control to do it, just like he did. They don't want to admit that though. So they'll throw their insecurities at you. They'll tell you like, yo, bro, that ground beef got mad hormones in it. It got mad GMO in it. But at the end of the day, I'm feeling good. I'm waking up every day with, seeing my abs on the wake up. Now, I'm not like working out in the gym, breaking the sweat, and then I see the progress. No. I'm waking up in the morning. I'm seeing the progress. I'm looking in the mirror. I'm looking at a reflection of who I am. And I see the hard work that I put in 24 hours in the day. You know what I'm saying? That's not something you can buy. People will start to listen to what you have to say. They'll start to listen to you. You'll start a conversation and people will be like, they'll just stop talking. They'll listen to you. They know that what you have to say has value because they see the value you have created in the physical manifestation of your body. We humans judge through what we see every time. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you can see, we judge through what we see. That's like how we judge and perceive things. So when they see the guy or the girl that has put in hours of work through the representation of their body, they respect that because they can't do it themselves. And even the people who have done it, when I look at someone else and I see someone else that's lean and I see the physical representation of the hard work that they have put in, going against the grain, going against societal norms, constantly doing the thing that they want to do, showing that they are in control of their life and are not letting life control them, I respect that as a person. I say, damn, bro, you've done the work. You're just like me, twin. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we are on the same level. That's someone I want to conversate with. That's someone I want to be around. Not saying that any person who isn't doing that doesn't deserve the same respect or they should be treated less of a human because of that. I'm simply saying I'm admiring the hard work that you have put in through the physical manifestation of your body. Yeah, the females, bro, they're gonna have no choice. They may not respect it like a guy would, because guys want to get to that level, but they're going to be attracted to you off the rip. Having a V-taper, having the cap shoulders, filled out chest, wide lats, defined legs, taper waist. Females are going to be drawn to that no matter what. They're going to look at you and be like, oh my God, there's something about this guy that I wish my man had, or something about this guy I wish I could get a hold of, because again, they see the value, they see the status that you hold, they see the work that you put in. But they may not say that. They may react to it with, damn, he fine, or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's situations like that you'll find yourself in, where you'll find yourself, going to the gym And, you know, people are looking at you a certain way because, you know, they're seeing, it's like you have walking aura, bro. I promise you. It's like you're like Goku SSJ3 or Goku Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 or something. You know what I'm saying? You got the red and blue aura around you, and people are drawn, they're attracted to you because they see the 1%. They're seeing the 5% in their life, and they're like, holy shit, bro, this is real. Like, I'm seeing the 1% of what I see online. I'm seeing the thing I see on TikTok of the guy for the females, the guy they've been thirsting over or whatever, or for the guy, it's the guy that they want to be like, you know, that seems really out of far reach. But when they see that in person, everything changes, bro. Everything changes. I do offer 14-week one-on-one coaching for anybody that wants further guidance. I do custom meal plans, tailored workouts to accommodate for your lifestyle and your needs. You can just shoot me a DM on Instagram or fill out the link tree for one-on-one coaching. And thanks for the support. I appreciate everything, and I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.